In a pandemic, we wear masks to protect others. In life, we wear masks to protect ourselves. But when it comes to love at first sight, who thinks about masks? In 1970, I trade Manhattan pseudo-sophistication for my middle-class version of hippiedom in California. I check out the LA jazz scene and hope to meet kindred spirits. At the Hollywood Bowl, people sitting next to me strike up a conversation. Turns out they're members of a spiritually oriented commune working for unity and peace. I'm intrigued by the idea of leaving the world a better place than I found it. What's it like living in the commune? We're a family. Other than the leaders, we live as brothers and sisters, celibate. We pool our resources, share chores, and we don't use alcohol and drugs. The more I talk to them, the more comfortable I become. They invite me to dinner at their crumbling stucco mansion in the Hollywood Hills. It harkens back to 1930s Hollywood with marble floors, fireplaces, sunroom, and French doors that open onto verandas. I ring the bell. David answers. He looks like a Greek god. He could be the brother of Mark Spitz, the Olympic swimmer. Whew. Next, I meet Jason and Trudy, who began the commune. Jason's an artist with a quirky sense of humor. We hit it off immediately. Trudy is an earth mother with eyes that can pierce any mask. She's nothing like my mother, and I love her for that. I decide to move in and embrace this new age lifestyle where friends are chosen family. Because I'm an executive secretary, I work in the office with Jason. David is Jason's right-hand man, so our paths cross frequently. We don't acknowledge the mutual attraction, but we're very aware of each other. Like dogs, sniffing, always sniffing. That changes with the Sylmar earthquake that hits at 6 a.m. The canyon trembles, utility poles spark as they fall, and there's this eerie groaning like the earth is a lumbering, wounded animal. Suddenly, a knock at my bedroom door. Alie, are you okay in there? Yes, David, thank you. I've been on my own since I left home, and here's this guy I met 2 months ago, not even dating, and he's immediately checking to make sure I'm okay. After that, we make time to talk, including about the future. I've learned a lot about relationships being around Jason and Trudy. Used to be about getting laid. Now I want to do things differently. Me too. I want to slow down and focus in. Soon after, my bubble is burst. I'm the black sheep in my family, Alie. They don't understand why I'm in California and not in the family business. I need to go back to Detroit to fix things with my father. When I get settled, we can get married. Married? As a young girl, I can't find any parents who look happy. They all wear masks. I decide I'm never getting married. David, we haven't spent any time as a couple. Can't we live together first? I want to be with you, and I won't have sex outside marriage. Whoa. He's adamant. I'm ambivalent. He leaves for Detroit, and I think about him and how I've never been attracted to a man who's spiritual. A psychic predicts that when I move to California, you will meet 2 men, different from any men you have ever known. If you choose the right one, you will marry the first week of October the following year. The first man I meet is a Marxist ex-con who turns out to be a drug dealer. The affair does not end well, but at least I end it. David is the second, and I let him go. Is he the right one? Have I made a terrible mistake? Then I remember in the mid-60s seeing a Freudian psychiatrist. After my umpteenth iteration of how hard it is to be me, he breaks his silence. You're a second-class citizen. You'll always be a second-class citizen. And the sooner you accept it and get married, the better off you'll be. Do I have to get married? The psychic predicts I will. The psychiatrist says I need to. And as if on cue, David writes me a letter to convince me. I've never known how to love, but I believe you can teach me. Oh, how romantic. My love is that powerful. Much as I love living in California, I agreed to get married in Detroit because he promises we'll come back to California in a couple of years. It's his turf. He makes all the arrangements for getting married, including the date, October 6th, as the psychic predicts. But our marriage gets off to a rocky start. His parents want nothing to do with me. They're not coming to the courthouse. Why not? Because you're Jewish. Didn't you tell them I'm raised as a Christian? Yeah, doesn't matter. You're Jewish, you're from California. When I get to the courthouse, my commune friends who've moved to Detroit with me are all there. And then there's an unfamiliar face off to the side. I meet David's 17-year-old brother, Nick, who defies his parents and hitchhikes across town. He joins us for the potluck after the wedding, and everything's fine until 10 o'clock when my husband whispers, "It's time to go to bed." We have to take Nick home first. He can hitchhike. Not at this hour. Our friends will give him a ride. No, we need to be there with him when he faces your parents. David picks me up, throws me over his shoulder. No one's going to tell me how I spend my wedding night. As he carries me up the stairs, my heart sinks. This is not the man I fall in love with in California. That David does the right thing. His lack of compassion for his brother on our wedding night is seared in my consciousness. Now I don't trust or respect his decision-making. He becomes more traditional with each passing month. No wife of mine is going to use her maiden name. No wife of mine is going to get a job. I'll provide. I'll take care of the finances. It's too complicated for you. When I get home from work, dinner should be on the table, no leftovers. I'm just not that domesticated, and motherhood is not on my radar. He won't use birth control, and so I can't relax when we have sex because I don't want to get pregnant. I may be the woman he falls in love with in California, but I'm not the wife he wants in Detroit. One night I confront him on choosing a conventional life. You have no intention of moving back to California, do you? You want to stay here and follow in your father's footsteps. You lied to me, you son of a bitch. He raises his hand. Don't you ever speak about my mother like that. That's his takeaway? I feel like he's gaslighting me. The final straw is when my best friend confides that David is propositioning all my friends and she's the only one to say no. How ironic. Premarital sex is taboo, but extramarital sex is not? We get nowhere. We can't communicate. Thanks to Michigan's no-fault divorce, we part ways quickly, if not amicably. I head west with David's promise that he'll send money when the divorce is settled. P.S. He never does. The divorce is final on the anniversary of my father's death. I get my funny little name back and promise I'll never give it up again. I'm 30 years old with no job, no money, no place to live, and no idea what I'm going to do when I grow up. What I do know is that love is not enough.